Honestly, it's not as complicated as it looks. Let me take you through my step-by-step routine on how I do my full glam. But if you are new here, welcome. Subscribe, like, comment, and share to anyone that might find this useful. But most importantly, click that notification bell so you are notified every time I post. Now, without further ado, let's get into this makeup. So first things first, if I'm going out, this is what I grab. This is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer, and I just put a pea-size amount and I just rub that all over. Bear in mind, I have moisturized, I've done my facial routine. I do put sunscreen if I'm going out as well, so I've done all of that. So I go in with my primer and then just wait for it to dry out and get all sticky, and let's get into the foundation. Today I'll be using the YSL All Hours foundation, and this is in the shade DN3. 2 pumps. We did say full glam. I have my foundation brush and I like to work in sections. So the first section I'm just going to work on is this side. Now this foundation is buildable, so depending on the sort of coverage that you're looking for, you can just build on the foundation to give you that full coverage or fuller coverage. Okay. Now I've only recently started using these brushes. I used to use like a flat head brush, but I am liking it. The first time I used this, I was like, oh, why is it so streaky? But then I found my rhythm and how I can sort of get the best use of the brush. Now, I'm not one of those people that puts foundation on their necks because I don't like it. So let's just work that through. Can we just give it up for the foundation, please? Because this foundation is mwah, chef's kiss. Now, I will caveat, I am not a makeup artist. I've only started wearing makeup maybe in the last decade or so. So I'm still learning. I've been building on makeup and trying to see what suits me best. I've started using a bronzer. So yes, come with me on this journey whilst I explore makeup and improve some of my skills. And if you are a makeup artist, please drop down some tips and tricks for me below. I would love to learn and see what I can do better or something I can take away, but let me know. So I tend to build a bit more on my cheeks because that is where I have most of my scars. Next for concealer, I think I might mix 2 concealers. The first one is the L'Oreal. I recently bought this and I'm really enjoying the way it looks and feels on my skin, and it's so easy to apply. And I'm going to go in with a brush and start from the outer corner and blend. And then I just work my way in. Next, I'm going to go in with a concealer that's just a little bit lighter, and this is the YSL All Hours, and that is just for the inner. It has similar applicators, which is interesting. And I'm just going to put a very little dot there. And just blend. So I'm reverse contouring, and that's just by bringing the concealer right up to my nose, just around there. And then the same on this side, and then highlight just the bridge of my nose. And you can see it's created a shadow, a natural shadow. And I'll just go over that shadow with some bronzer. So very, very light contouring. Just going to go over the areas I had concealer with a sponge. The reason I do that, so it's easier for me to add my setting powder and it doesn't cake up. Today I'm using this Morphe setting powder. It is their brightening pink bake and set setting powder. It's not as pink as you would assume. So take a little bit on my pad, dust a bit off, and then just press into my skin. Set all the areas that I had put concealer on and just press that into the skin. So that's the bridge of my nose, my chin, and the top of my forehead. Again, if you want to reverse contour, I would just add some of that into, I just put it underneath where I will bronze, just so that that gives me a shadow before I start to add my bronzer in. And just push that into the skin. Take a big brush, and then I don't let that sit in for too long, and I just dust that off. Press it into the skin a little bit, and then dust the excess off. Okay. With an angle brush, I'm going to go in with my YSL bronzer, and I'm just going to bronze and just take it up into my forehead. I don't tend to put a contour as well. I just bronze, and this is something I've just started recently, so let me know what you think. Just bronze the area where the shadows would naturally occur, and this just brings back warmth into my face without looking too harsh. I don't tend to wear eyeshadow, so I'll just go in with some bronzer there. I want to further bronze my eyes. I just go in with this into my crease. And then the excess just down my nose and into the brow. I've had my eyebrows on braids. I don't tend to do much, but because I've put some makeup over it, I'm just going to go over again with a eyebrow pencil just to darken the brow again. I'm just going with a brush. What I may also do is just go over this with a flat brush with any foundation that's left over and just clean up the brow. And should you want to, you can just go in with a tad bit of the concealer just into the brow bone. So that gives it a nice gradient from the foundation into just a bit of a lighter concealer. That's when I want to be extra. To bring everything together, I tend to go in with my Chanel pressed powder, put put that all over my face. So next I'm going in with my blush. This is the YSL. This blush is so pigmented. Can you just appreciate? It's so gorgeous. I'm only going to put very little because a little goes a long way and I'm scared. So I would just tap it, dust off the excess and then wish for the best. Okay, so I will just go in slightly. So this is buildable, so it's better to start off really light and then you can build up on what you've got already because it can be scary. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. And then just a little bit on the nose. Sometimes, as I mentioned, I don't put eyeshadow, so what I'll do is go in this. Remember, who remembers this Sleek contour kit? What was it? Yeah, Sleek contour kit. So I go in with the darker shade and I just put that in my crease. This just goes to show you don't need a lot of things to get a full glam. So I'm using my contour kit, and what I'll use is, if I wanted to have that shimmer, I would just use the highlighter section, just a bit on my finger, and just place it on my lid. And it's as simple as that. And then just quickly go in again and blend. Then I'll go in with my eyeliner, and I can't speak whilst doing this, so just watch me. I'll go in with a little mascara just to get rid of any shadows. I stopped wearing under eyeliner, to be honest, mainly because it would bleed into my eye or just smudge. Let me know in the comments below if you can recommend a good eyeliner that doesn't bleed or doesn't smudge into my eyes, but let me know and I would be grateful. Okay, so now I'll be going in with some lashes, and this is the DY Silk. I think I got this from TikTok, but essentially it has some lashes in there. And what I do is I take one and I trim it to suit my eye, and then I just glue it on. So I'll quickly show you that. Again, this is not my everyday, this is my go-to glam. It doesn't take me that long to do, but obviously because I'm filming, it will take me longer because I have to kind of talk you through each of the steps. But I would say this would probably take me about 10 minutes. Okay, so allow that to dry and get a bit tacky. Then what I tend to do is just look down, have my mirror down here, and just put the lash just in the middle, and then I secure one end. So the first step is secure the middle, do one end and push that down, and then do the other end. And let the rest of it just dry down, and can we just appreciate the difference? Last but not least, it's the lips. This I just picked up from TikTok shop. Just get any lip liner of your choice. And I'm just gonna line her lips. I'm just going with a light lipstick. Very light, nothing dramatic. And then I'll go in with my Oh My Gloss, and this is from Rimmel. Then the icing on the cake is my Morphe setting mist, and I will just spray that everywhere. And that brings it all together. This was my birthday glam, and this is how I arrived, minus the red lips. I think I had a nude lips on my birthday shoot, but if you are interested to see that shoot, stay tuned. It will be coming very soon. This is my go-to glam when I want to go all out, whether it's dinner date with my husband or with my friends and we're just going out for a night out. This is what I tend to go for. Sometimes I will go without the full lashes. I might have a 3/4 lash or just mascara, just depending on the time of the occasion. So if it's a nighttime, I will go full glam. Let me know in the comments what you think. I thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoy this sort of content, subscribe, like, share, and send it to someone that you really appreciate. But most importantly, click that notification bell so you get notified every single time that I post. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.